Good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson. It's JJ Diamond, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. I hope everyone had a wonderful day yesterday. I'm sorry I'm late. I was supposed to go live on Twitch this morning. However, I'm having technical difficulties with the app, so I have to figure this out a little bit more. You can't see me on the app, and that's the problem I'm going through. So I got to do a little bit more research before I go live on Twitch to see why I'm not seeing myself. It's just like a white screen. So I don't get it. However, I will get back with you guys on it when I finish testing it and let y'all know another date when I'm going to get on there. Today, first we want to thank God for being alive. And the weather here in Charlotte seems to be pretty okay. I haven't been out there yet. Alexa, what's the weather today?
Currently, in Charlotte, it's 59 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect mostly sunny weather with a high of 78 degrees and a low of 57 degrees.
Thank you. Well, now y'all know the weather here in Charlotte. Other thing I had issues with was the lighting. Twitch needs a certain type of lighting in order for it to look HD, which I do have the lighting, and y'all can see. But on Instagram don't need special lighting for HD. You can use regular lighting for HD. So the lighting actually messes it up on the Instagram, So now I'm going to be battling between both apps with lighting, and it's crazy, y'all. But yeah, this is what I'm going through when it comes to the Twitch and the Instagram. Okay, today I wanted to talk about taking responsibilities for your actions. I think I talked about this in some of my past podcasts. And the reason why I'm bringing it up again is because I see this going on a lot, where people are always trying to make others their reason for failing or doing something. When they got people coming at them because they've done something wrong, they always want to try to blame others, And technically, when you do something wrong, it's a choice, and I felt the need to talk about this again because I have a lot of people around me that make a lot of negative choices, and the first thing they do is try to blame somebody else for their negative choice. And it's nobody's fault but yours if you physically did it. If nobody put a gun to your head and told you to do something, it is your fault, and that's just the bottom line. When you do it. However, it came up when I was watching this movie. It's called Blood Brothers. I don't know if y'all seen that with Trey Songz in it. I didn't know he can act. I didn't know. It's the first time I seen him in a movie. And I'm big on watching a lot of the singers and rappers in movies. That's one of the things I'm really big on. To see their skills, I've always been big on that, and to see him in this particular type of movie, it was like, okay, and the concept of the movie was, when he was a kid, him and his friends did that blood thing, where they cut themselves, and, back in the day, that was back in my era when you call yourself blood brothers and blood sisters, So I got that part, understood that part. Then they were so young. They was only 14 years old, when they did this thing. And they wound up seeing a heist go wrong with the armored truck, and they stepped in and took some money. one of the guys, the armor truck guys, got shot, and they was going to take the gun. One of them, and I believe that was Trey Songz' character, had the gun pointed at the armor cop, but he wasn't going to kill him. He just looked at him, and his white friend grabbed the gun and shot the dude, and I understand the way the white boy character was thinking versus how Trey Songz' character was thinking, and it was four of them all together. And his theory was, this man seen us, we have to kill him, the white boy. Anyway, white boy got caught. They never recovered the money because the boys hid the money and went on with their lives, because he did 15 years in jail for shooting this armor car man. But he did the time, and when he got out, see, this was the kicker. He got out of jail acting like everything was fine and turned on Trey. Okay. I forgot Trey's character name in there. However, when he turned on Trey, he wanted to make Trey life miserable. Okay. For him doing 15 years in jail. And it wasn't fair, because you the one who did the actual crime. Yeah, we all robbed the money, but we didn't go to jail for robbing the money. You went to jail for killing that man. You know what I mean? It's one thing if you hurt a person and then they die later. That's attempted murder. But if you kill a person on spot, okay, that is straight out murder. You know what I mean? And he did the murder. He killed the guy. And he did the time. But he wanted to blame his friends for letting him go down for it. But you should have never killed the guy. So I was looking at that, thinking about other people that I know. You know what I mean? That's done different things. And then they always want to blame their friends or blame... well, if I had this, or if this wasn't this way, if this wasn't that way, it wouldn't have happened this way. You know what I mean? And it's always a choice, people. When, he called himself a demon, and technically he was a demon, because who gives you the right to be killing people? Number one, and you was only 14 years old, so that was in your soul. It's not like you had to kill somebody because they was hurting you. It was in your soul. And that was in a movie. But the same thing with people out here. They out here and they kill people. And it's because it's in their soul. This is what they want to do. They have that drive. They get a type of what's the word I'm looking for? A rush. They get a type of rush from it, some people, In this movie, Trey was a cop, and he claimed he didn't like that Trey turned into a cop and all these things. Now, if they would have got caught with the money, and this is just my knowledge of the law, if they would have just got caught with the money, they were 14, that thing would have went away, But being that murder was involved, this is why he had to do so many years in jail. Okay, so I say that to say, before you decide to commit a crime, know the crime that you're committing, know what you possibly could be facing, and take responsibility for your actions. You know what I mean? Because you chose to commit that crime. The other thing is he had anger issues, and I was watching that as well. This character, whoever wrote this story, they really put this character together. He was a damn nutcase. He was a nutcase since he was 14 years old. He had a bunch of brothers and a mother that was racist, and they was just messed up. You could tell he didn't get much love from home. You know what I mean? And Trey did say that in the movie. His character, like, this boy was deprived of love. So I had to laugh because it was plain to see he was deprived, because he was just running around just killing people heartless. Like, I don't care. I did 15 years in jail and I don't feel comfortable here, and I'm going to make people pay, and it's like, okay, so nobody's the demon but you. You know what I mean? You was the demon from Jump Street. You needed to be locked up, okay? And pretty much, I'm sorry, y'all. That's my neighbors banging. I tell you. I can't get away from the noise. Yeah, so going back to taking responsibility for your actions. No matter what we do, we have to think the process out. And I'm not gonna talk about thinking process too much today. It's just that I have to bring it up again. I bring it up over and over and over, that thinking process, people. We have to think our things out before we act, and that's where that thinking process come in again. I think I talk about the thinking process every other podcast, okay? Because this is what life is all about, the thinking process, And yeah, I'm still seeing it, just do it everywhere, And I'm so afraid of these new children growing up and they're just doing it, Don't, they have this thing where you don't panic, accept fear, and just do it, And this is what we're teaching these kids, you know what I mean? But they got to know the difference of what to do and what not to do, I don't like this lighting on this on the Instagram, because you have a certain type of light for each in different, these apps is different. This is the white lighting, and Instagram looks better with the other lighting. So hold on, let me see. Alexa, light on. Oh no, it's unplugged. So let me put. I know it's not because I unplugged it.
Network connection and power supply.
I'm about to. Thank you, Alexa. Alexa, turn light up to 100.
Bedroom 2 isn't responding.
It's plugged in now.
Its network connection and power supply.
Alexa, can you turn bedroom light up to 100? Oh no, this one is actually darker. So maybe I should have kept that light on. I don't know, you can't really see me at all now. I don't know. This lighting thing is crazy when it comes to these apps, and depending on what type of phone you use or computer you use, it makes it really difficult. You have to set up a whole area, and I'm looking into doing that, especially with this Twitch, because it's a little difficult, but I'm going to get into it and I'll let y'all know again. But anyway, getting back to taking responsibility for your actions, I was looking at a Facebook post yesterday where they was asking, would you train your children how to shoot a gun? And I replied yes, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, one, of course, to protect themselves. Two, I want my children, if they're going to have to shoot somebody or protect themselves, I want to make sure they hit the target, This is just why I was taught, and I've talked about, different things that, came up in my life, and people was like, okay, well, you're going to have to know how to do this and know how to do that, so we have to train you. And I was trained. And that's why I say, I was trained well. Yeah, I would do it. You know what I mean? And that's because I wouldn't want my children shooting innocent bystanders. It's one thing to go to jail for shooting your target. You know what I mean? But then when you have another body on there because you missed your target, you have increased your sentence. Okay? So, unless it was self-defense. And not every state have a self-defense law. Okay? Now, here in North Carolina, if a person steps in your house, and they trying to harm you, you good to go. Do whatever you feel you need to do. Okay? Maryland, that doesn't apply. Okay? So whatever state you live in, make sure you check out your laws on self-defense. Okay? So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Every state has its rules. And we must follow, You got some states that I was looking at on TV where, like, even during this COVID, where most states had put a hold on people getting put out, there's some states, they said, we don't care. If they don't have the money, put them out, So every state is different. So y'all look into these things, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is another thing about responsibility and taking responsibility for your actions, because you move to a state, you start going through all of these things, and you say to yourself, why? Because you didn't check out the laws before you got there or when you first got there. You know what I mean? Like my daughter keep asking me, Mom, let's move over here, let's move over there. And I'm like, Egypt, no, I can't just move anywhere. I have to study these states before you just move into these states. Because you don't know what you're going to be putting yourself into. You could be going to straight hell moving in some of these states. So that's the thing. And I try to tell people on a daily basis, like, stop making moves without using your thinking process. That thinking process is a big key in our life. Like I had to yesterday. The Facebook was flooded on the timelines with the hate for Donald Trump to die. And I'm looking at this thing like, yo, these people are sick. You know what I mean? Okay, granted, you can hate a person, but when you're saying literally you want a person to die, that's already a strike in God's eye. Anytime I say, I like I tell y'all all the time, I be needing a little more Jesus, because person get on my nerve too much, I'll take a bit, but if they get on my nerve too much, I can turn demon a little bit, don't be wanting to, but sometimes you have to in order to get a person up off you mentally and physically, however, you never wish a person death or illness, and those things that you put out there, will and can come back to you very fast. Those things that you speak, that's why I put in my song, Stop Talking. I don't know if y'all heard Stop Talking. Y'all can hear that on all platforms. It's by Miss JJ Diamond and Nay Heights. Put the blood of Jesus on your tongue. Sometimes we are unable to be strong enough to stop the things that flow off our tongue. You know what I mean? We can say some things that, you like, damn, I said that. You have to ask God for forgiveness. You ask God, I apologize for doing the devil's work, because that's what you're doing. You're doing the devil's work. Nobody has to know, even if the person didn't hear you say it. You know what I mean? You can still ask God for forgiveness, because God hear and see everything. So I always personally ask God for forgiveness. I ask him for forgiveness and apologize for the negative thinking and go on with my day, But there's some people out here would just say things. And then when those things come back to them, they say, why? How? Well, you're the one who released that negative energy. And this podcast is not about negative energy. I spoke about negative energy in one of my other podcasts. But it just all comes together, people. When you speaking all this negative energy about people, let people go through whatever they're going to go through, whatever karmas they put out there on themselves. You don't have to add your karma to their karma. You understand? You don't have to do that. Because they've done negative things don't mean that you have to be a part of that. Y'all follow me? Maybe I should say it another way. Just because we know a person is a bad person, or they don't have the right decision making or choices, or whatever the case may be, you do not have to play a part in that. My mama always told me, and that's why I love Tina, if you don't agree with what a person is doing, you can speak on it. But to add negativity, that's just like adding fuel to the fire. Okay? You stay out of it. Sometimes it's better to not speak at all. Okay? It's like my song, Don't Talk. When I make songs, people, I don't make songs just to make songs like some of these artists. I make songs to give you guys a message. Okay? Sometimes it's better to not say nothing at all. Because sometimes when you do talk, it can make a situation worse. So this is why you have to use your thinking process. Who is this person? Should I talk? Will they turn it on me? And this is I'll be looking at posts about snitches, right? Now, it was funny because in the movie, right, the girl, Trey was a cop, and his partner went to the office and figured out that Trey was there when they robbed that armored truck so many years ago. And because she had found one of the when you rob these banks and rob armored trucks, those serial numbers are documented, okay? And just like on anything else. So this money was put in the system, okay? And when that money was put in that system, see, if the white boy didn't raise the roof about the nonsense about what he was feeling, they would have got away with it because it was 15 years later. Okay. And until that money started flooding in that area, they would have never paid any mind to it. Okay. Because it was done. The dude was sentenced. It was over, but being that he raised the roof about it and was throwing money around and writing on the money in blood and all this other stuff, he wanted to take everybody down. He killed two of the other friends, which he had already told him that he was going to have him killed. And that's why you got to watch what you say. You know what I'm saying? I take everything literal when a person talks to me. Okay? If they say it, they mean it. Okay? Whether they're angry or whether they saying it nice. Okay? And then you have some people that'll say, oh, I'm just playing, or let me take that back. No, they meant to say it. That's what their mind was thinking. Okay? So I personally take things like that literal and always watch those type of people. Okay? And he had told them, like, yo, I was going to have my brothers kill y'all. and it was like, for real, like, wow, and he was saying, nah, I'm just playing. No, first he said, I couldn't have y'all killed because I wouldn't have known where the money was. You know what I mean? So you see how, and this was they blood, so-called blood brother, how he changed after he went to jail. Now, granted, a lot of things probably happened to him in jail. And, he felt the pain of going to jail. People, that's why I say, people, you don't know what jail is like, and you don't know what you're going to go up against when you get there, especially when you're not in a state that you're used to, So, with that being said, don't commit crimes if you're not ready to do that time. Because that time don't just come with time going by day. That time also comes with other people that's a criminal just like you and could be a worse criminal than you. You know what I mean? Just like they always say somebody's going through something worse than you. Well, yeah, you're going to experience that when you get to jail as well. You know what I mean? And I say all of that to say, you have to prepare yourself mentally for that stuff. Some people go to jail and they're not ready for it because they didn't even know they was was committing a crime. But when you know you are committing a crime, a criminal activity, hurting somebody, bank robbery, fraud, all this stuff you're doing, and you go to jail, yeah, then there's a problem. However, when you get there, you're going to experience things that you might not have ever wanted to experience. And this is what happened to this boy. He wanted to blame all his friends. And the character that Trey played, he was visiting this dude on a regular basis. So it was like, okay, I'm still showing you love, even though I became a cop, even though, we went down on we went down on this and you didn't snitch. And that was the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I see a lot of podcasts about that, about the snitching thing. That's what you also have to beware for those two, those that don't snitch is good. And those that do snitch can be good and can be bad as well, and you got to look at that too. And the reason why I'm speaking on this is because this dude didn't snitch, but he came out and dealt with everybody. You know what I mean? He wanted them to go through hell, just like he did for the last 15 years, but he didn't snitch on them. Okay? So you make your mark. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I'm not a snitch, but, I will retaliate on these people that I did time for. So you got to think about that too. So when you're out there running with your friends and y'all about to go do these crimes, whoever get caught, don't tell, don't snitch. We got you. All right, y'all make this pact. Y'all go out there, y'all do this crime. Now you go to jail. You don't snitch. You do this time, and then you come out and you're angry, and now you want to kill up everybody. Or you want to be this. Well, I ain't snitch on them, and they wasn't there for me. They didn't love me, blah, blah, blah. You made the choice. Okay, you made the choice. So if you stay out of situations like that, you won't have to worry about snitching on nobody. And that's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? So I always say, and I go back to the song, Stop Talking. When you see stuff, and I'm not saying, like, we had some kids killed here, recently, and that was negligence of the person that was out there shooting, and somebody, one of the community told, and they did catch the guy, and he should have been caught because you just shot 2 kids when you should have been shooting your target, whoever you was angry with or whoever you was, pulling the trigger for. Not 2 innocent bystanders. So your mind ain't right. We already know you got a mental issue. You know what I mean? Now, for those that don't have a mental issue and they shoot their target, that means they've done their research on their gun. They has been to the gun range, practicing shooting, how much kick your gun got. because that's the other thing that can startle you when you shooting off a gun. If the gun has too much kick to it, your arm is going to buckle. You know what I mean? And that's why people always miss their target sometimes. And this is the reason why you have to go to the range and shoot, because you need to know if this particular gun is too powerful for your body. Okay? Not everybody have that upper strength, and the biceps, they don't have all that. So when they can't keep their arm straight when that kick come. You know what I mean? So granted, yeah, that kid or person that shot could not handle that gun, lost the kick, and shot them kids. Okay? It was pure D wrong. Okay? Wrong. Because, for one, you shouldn't even have a gun if you don't know how to shoot the gun. So, long story short, getting back into that snitching thing, this dude didn't snitch. But he wanted to still retaliate. So these are things that y'all got to think about. This stuff happened 15 years ago. He was 14 when he went to jail. And then he came out and still killed his people, his boys. The ones that he called blood brothers. Okay? So the other thing I'm saying is people change. Okay? So y'all need to watch that. I see it every single day. Sometimes you got to leave old friends in the past because people change. And that's just what it is, Like I laugh at a lot of my, the people around me, not around me, but like on my Facebook friends that I've been with for years. I mean, been talking to for years. And they'll say, oh, well, where's so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know, they should be over here, blah, 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 blah. Well, why you don't talk to them? Why should I? Because people change. You know what I mean? And sometimes when people change, you have to move forward without them. You know what I mean? Especially if you're not in their type of realm. If you feel like they can put stress on your life or get you into problems that you can't get out of, you need to get away from them. And that's just the bottom line. Like some people recently that came into my life, they didn't understand why I really wanted to stop dealing with them, because they was making negative choices, and these are grown people. So people it's not just kids. That's why I said this podcast is not just kids. Even though the title is "How Do We Save the Children for Tomorrow?" We want the kids of tomorrow to know the mistakes of the adults today, so they won't make them. Because these adults today are not growing mentally. They are still in children's minds. They're not elevating as adults. And it's sad. You know what I mean? So this is what we're teaching our children. And that's the other thing that the movie had brought to attention. And I love some of these movies because they put so many messages in it. And he said to one of the girls, he said, well, I've been in jail since I was 14. He said, and they say when you're released, your mind starts back from the time that you left. Okay? So mentally, he was still 14, even though he did 15 years. Okay? This was almost a 40-year-old man. You know what I mean? But his mind was 14. So that's something to think about, people. You know what I mean? When you're dealing with some of these people, and is it the type of people that you want to deal with, even though they were in your life? You know what I mean? And not everybody's been to jail and their minds are 14 not 14 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? These people didn't even go to jail, some of these people. And their minds are just young. You know what I mean? You have not elevated no way, no how. You know what I mean? You try to make the world think you have, but the actuality of it, you're still back 20 years ago. And then you say to yourself, when they're older, you start thinking maybe they're getting dementia or, maybe they're getting Alzheimer's and stuff like that, but you say to yourself, nah, It's impossible. This is just their way of thinking, especially when they have people around them or their children are the same way. You know what I mean? And these are not the type of people we want raising the kids up today, because we don't want the kids up to tomorrow to be hateful, to act like little children, in their 40s, 50s. We don't want the kids of tomorrow making negative choices to put their lives in binds. These are the things that... Where's the container? In there. There go Egypt. Interrupted me again. Don't you know that is mean?
So I'm not supposed to do my dance and you want to do a podcast?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
So this is why we're constantly teaching, guys. And every song that I write, I have to put a message in it, and that's why I put a message in it, because we need to continue to teach. There's a lot of things that I see out here is just like unreal with some of these people, However, this is what we have to deal with. And we keep talking about what is the world coming to. We know what the world is coming to, okay? But we got to continue to teach. And that's just the bottom line, And I love a lot of these movies. I'm going to use this one. I was watching this movie with Halle Berry. And it was called The Caller, okay? Now, I was going to take a job as a 911 operator, right? I was going to take this job back about 2 years ago. I had met a ambulance driver, and he was like, "You need a job?" I don't know how we got to talking. He was a nice white guy. And he was like, "Do you need a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got bills to pay." He was like, "Well, come on and be a 911 operator." He was like, "You look like you would do good, based on the way you're talking to me." And I was like, "Okay." So I don't know, something happened in my life where I just forgot about it. Just forgot about it. I don't know why. But then when I watched this movie, the caller, I said, God didn't want me to be dealing with that what I was going through in my life at that moment, And I see now why I totally forgot it. Like God just blanked my mind from it. I wasn't ready for that. I would have been crazy as Betsy Bugs, hearing some of the things that come through on the 911 calls. Okay, I would have been straight crazy right now, taking all kind of pills. I would be bugged out right now. Okay, because I was going through a lot a couple of years ago in my household. So it was very stressful for that. And then to take on a job that's stressful as well. And they pay good money, very good money. Okay, and that was the reason why I was, hey, I should take this job because the money good. But I was more worried about my eyes, because, you got to look at a computer all day, and looking at a computer all day will hurt my eyes, especially with my allergies and stuff, because the phlegm, when it creates in my head, that's what it affects the most, my eyes. So I was like, oh, the computer's going to mess with my eyes. So I don't think I want to do this. But I was looking at how much money they pay. And I'm like, well, I can. And it's like 10-hour shifts. I think it was 10 or 12-hour shifts. But when I physically seen this movie, and I was like, she went through some things. So y'all check that out. I'm not going to tell y'all about that one. I wanted to talk about The Blood Brother because it had a lot of messages in there, about how people can turn on you, how people can snap. It's just an overall good movie, and if you come from the ghetto or the hood, you would recognize, some of the things that you see in this movie. Like, whoa, yeah, this dude he snaps, how they turn, how he turned on Trey because Trey decided to go straight and he wanted to become a cop. But Trey, he wasn't all that great of a good cop, in the movie. It didn't show. He still had his demons within him, but I guess that's what he says at the end of the movie. Sometimes you have to, I forget how he said it. We all have demons that we fight, and sometimes we leave them demons alone or leave them behind. It was a statement he made at the end of the movie. And it's true, where you have to fight your demons, people. You have to. You have to tell them demons like, yo, you got to go get up out my head because I got to do me. And that's what you got to do. Some people allow their demons to take over, and it's sad. It's sad when they allow their demons to take over. Instead of saying, no, you're not doing this to me. You know what I mean? I'm in control, not you. Even though it's your body, your mind, your soul. But you got to let them know who's in control, the good or the bad. You know what I mean? And some of them just have the bad just totally take over, And you got some of us that will fight the demon like, yo, I'm winning this battle. One, I got God. Two, I'm stronger than you. You can't win. Get out of here. You know what I mean? But then you got some people that will allow the inner demon to come up out of them. And when he made that statement at the end, I was like, this is definitely a movie I have to talk about. It's a must-watch, people. You need to watch it because it shows a lot about the way people think and act. And these are the things that we need to watch so we can see how not to be like these type of people. And use your thinking process. Choices. Here we go again. The other song I created, Your World Choices. You create these, you have these choices, you create these negative things, and then you want people to pray for you. Okay? You want to be prayed for now. You want to be saved. Or you're feeling these negative ways and you're asking people to pray for you so you can get rid of these negative ways. But don't allow the demons to take over and then now you want somebody to pray for you. When you should have asked for prayer before the fact. Okay? Y'all remember that's Your World Choices. That's on all platforms. Y'all check that out. That one is actually doing really well in Canada. You know what I mean? And in UK, so people recognize what I'm talking about. I wish America listened to it so they can get their minds right, because I see a lot of people that's crazy as Bessie Bugs and they don't even know it. You know what I mean? Like some of the things that they say, some of the things that they put in their songs, and you like, you crazy as Bessie Bugs, and you don't even know it. And I made a hit. And that's what kills me. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, there's more people like you in the world. Oh, no, we got to talk about this thing. We got to get these people together because some of these people are sick. Okay? They allow their inner demons to take over. And they are too weak to shut it down. And that comes within you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely check out that movie, Blood Brother. I haven't gave my other podcast for outro. So I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to get up off of both of here, Instagram and the podcast. Y'all definitely get on Twitch and follow me. I'm going to get that thing together, y'all. I'm going to figure it out. And I will be on Twitch soon. I don't know how soon, and I'll let y'all know. But y'all can always go on there and follow me until I get it together. Deja, DEJAH0717. Again, this is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. I love y'all. And y'all remember, take responsibility for your actions. It's your choices. Love y'all. Talk to y'all tomorrow.